These Hot Idiots is a podcast featuring our hosts, two full-grown adult men. Together, they watch teen drama and young adult-oriented television shows one episode at a time. These Hot Idiots is a comedy podcast and isn't meant to be taken as real criticism. This podcast uses adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to This Is Our Lives, the podcast where we watch a random season of a soap opera and just sort of try to understand what's happening and why.
Without any regard to the continuity of previous seasons.
No continuity to any of the previous seasons. We are starting with season 27 of General Hospital. There's actually more than 27 seasons.
There's probably more than that. No, this is
there are 62 seasons of General Hospital.
Jesus Christ.
We could roll like the 3 D20s and there'll still be more seasons.
Alrighty. No, this is These Hot Idiots. That's Ashe. I'm Mega.
Hello.
We are finally ending our long journey. Playing the final dragon
I have a
of
job.
Also, he has a job.
Yeah.
Yay.
Job.
But yes, this is the final dragon that I must slay in my long-standing journey to consume as much Twilight media as is safe.
The Twilight Saga.
The Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2. I've read all the books.
Could have been
and
a
now
phone
I've watched
call.
all the... What was that? Could have been a phone call.
Could have been a fucking phone call.
I've now read all the books and seen all the movies.
Episode is not sponsored by Liquid Death. You know what's a weird observation about my job?
Mm-hmm.
All my managers are fatter than me.
Huh.
So I am beneath them in ranking. I have to. I got to get fatter.
If you want to get that raise and that promotion,
I got to get fatter.
Gotta bulk up.
I gotta bulk up.
Imagine a world like that.
We got some real super heavyweights, dude. I gotta fucking step my game up.
Gotta get another X on that collar.
Gotta get another X on that collar, just like. Fuck! I was trying to make a joke and then I forgot.
Oh man, sorry.
The logical answer to why doesn't the larger ones just simply eat the
fucking Omicron Persei
yes.
Like logic right there.
The biggest one should be the manager.
He is the largest, therefore he should lead.
He's the largest, therefore he should lead. I just got a fucking conversation about talking about my job on social media, so I'm just not gonna say what the job is.
Yeah, it's all right.
I might bring it up later, but not now.
Maybe.
We got a Twilight review.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we got the final movie, Breaking Dawn Part 2. Here we go. 3 minutes of opening credits.
With this fucking HBO mini-series ass opening that
oh my god,
didn't happen in any of the other fucking movies.
Where Billy Burke gets fourth billing somehow.
Billy Burke got fourth billing.
Which is so weird because his character means so little in the long of it. It's Charlie. We like Charlie, but
I wish that the last half hour of the movie was just Charlie fishing.
Oh yeah, that we will get to that.
Maybe I would have had a good time. Him catching a rainbow trout on the fucking Puget Sound River or whatever.
Yeah, he's at the Fraser River. Yeah,
he's at the Fraser River. He can feel the blues a calling. Toss salad and
scrambled eggs. Mercy.
I'm sorry, I'm in a weird mood today. I worked 8 hours and then I came home 7 hours and then I had to walk home and then cook dinner and now watch a Twilight movie.
Yeah. We kind of we start off from where the last film left off with Bella finally waking up and being
she's got
human.
Enhanced vampire senses.
and can move real fast and just
she could tell the carpet's just really dirty, and someone should
really
vacuum.
dirty.
They should vacuum.
Yeah. You guys need to vacuum this shit up.
Edward's like, we're the same temperature now. But she's strong because she hugs him real hard, and she's got fledgling power because fledglings are stronger. I remember that.
Yeah, newborns are stronger because they're still cycling out their human blood, which is weird because
whatever.
Bella didn't have all that much human blood to begin with.
Yeah, all her blood fell out.
because she was being drained by her vampire baby.
By her vampire baby, and then got fucking exploded via cesarean teeth mouth section. Out her hoo-ha.
You'd think she'd actually be
and had
strong.
A weird CGI nightmare baby.
Oh, God.
So they kiss, and she wants to see their daughter, but she's numing, and they run.
They
run through the woods with CGI superimposed Kristen Stewart on a green screen.
It's the shittiest thing. Ash was laughing the entire time.
Running like Linkara's running at you.
like the gif of the car running at you, running at the screen.
I'm approaching you rapidly.
It's so bad.
I'm still remaking those History of Power Rangers.
He's almost done.
I'm working on it. Go to my Patreon.
He's at SPD right now, so it's about like let's see.
Here, for reference.
Oh, I know what you're referencing. Don't worry, I know.
I want to look at it.
Yeah, he's got like 4 more seasons to do before he's done.
I'm getting there. Anyway, back to Linkara. They're just like hunting because she needs blood, so they're just running through the forest, superimposed, and it zooms over her shoulder, and they just like pan her out of the picture into like a forest clearing, and she finds like a deer and a squirrel, and a spider.
Oh yeah, Shika.
And then she found one of those like weird free climbing YouTubers who are just climbing a rock without like climbing gear on.
I swear to God, it zooms into his armpit at least once.
It zooms into his pits, and she's just like, I smell his armpits. And then
I want to get a sniffer.
He cuts a shin, but she's going for that armpit, so she just CGI wall crawls like she's like a badly shot Spider-Man.
You better hold on tight, Spider-Man.
You better hold on tight, me.
Me. I better hold on tight, Spider-Monkey.
I better hold on tight, Spider-Monkey. And then she climbs this fucking cliff, but like Edward gets her to stop, and she stops, and it's like, wow, I've never seen someone stop.
That's impressive. And then she goes off to hunt the thing, and
then she dives off a cliff and then bites a mountain lion.
She's at first going for a deer, but then she sees the mountain lion and just dive bombs the mountain lion.
Fuck you, cat.
I'm gonna eat you.
I feel bad because I've been approaching these Twilight movies with like my best criticisms that I can think of, but then this one's just kind of like I got this kind of like I want to get it over with mentality.
This is not a movie that needed to be another movie. This
the second part of a 2-parter that everyone has asked for.
That y'all totally asked for this, right?
We just barely hit 2 hours, and we just had to do a couple of things. Yeah. To hit that number. Couldn't just be
real padded out movie.
1 hour added to the last movie, so it was a 3-hour like finale.
A 3-hour Twilight movie does sound horrible, but
Lord of the Rings are 3.5, so
no, it's fine, and it's the last movie. It would have been the last movie.
You could do like finale parties or whatever.
Yeah.
And then finale
parties.
Then you could have just edited this shit down instead of making a fucking pointless ass movie that could have been a phone call.
This movie, oh yeah, that is the main criticism of the plot here. This could have been a phone call.
You really could have fucking called them
Like,
So-
you think our new moon is bad about it could have been a phone call? This really could have been a phone call.
I understand vampire societies and fucking conspiracies and the werewolf clan wars, but like this whole situation with Renesmee and like her like nature could have been a fucking phone call.
Could have just fucking flown out to Italy and done this. You didn't have to
Fly
go.
out to Italy and fucking just go there and say what's up.
Hey, we got a daughter.
Hey, we got a daughter. There's weird shit that people are like misinformed about. We ain't fucking with you. Fist bump. See ya.
You think?
So they're at the Cullen house, but it got like a visual refresh of some kind. It's just like a different color now.
I think that's just a fence around the stairs. I don't know if that's entirely the house.
And Jacob's there, and Edward makes Bella smell him.
And he's stinky now because he's smelling his werewolf stink all the time. I just think it's because he hasn't showered in a while.
This place doesn't have running water, Bill. All the Cullens are there, and Renesmee, the nightmare CGI baby.
If you want to explain the concept of the uncanny valley to someone, you go to Renesmee.
Okay, so it's not the adult version in the future flashbacks face. But it's definitely whatever preteen they got's face on like a little baby.
On a little baby, and it's constant.
I would say she looks like 10-ish, 12 maybe.
10 to 12, yeah, but they just
put her face on a baby, on like a PS3 rendering of a baby.
Yes, and it's the most hideous thing.
And like
every time we look at it,
it's badly masked, so it there's like this dark shadow around it at all times.
Every time I look at it, I scream because I'm just like fundamentally horrified by it. It awakens like the primal fear in my animal brain because it is a thing that should not be.
You look at it and you think it's a fucking skin-walking alien or some shit, right?
Right.
Like it's gonna be a thing baby, you know?
Exactly. It's a thing baby that's taken on like a human face, but it doesn't understand that babies don't have those kinds of faces.
No. And then the Cullens find out Jacob's a pedophile.
And Bella finds out Jacob's a pedophile, but what she's really upset about.
She's really upset.
What's really upset about is the fact that Jacob calls her Nessie.
And she's like,
instead
you think I cut after the Loch Ness monster?
You think I died the Loch Ness monster? And it's like, Renesmee is such a terrible name.
And fucking sucks. Jacob's argument about imprinting on a child is, I can't help it.
She chose me.
She chose me, and it's like you're not helping your case here.
You are not beating the allegations here, Jacob.
Like, if a pedophile's first offense is like, I can't stop myself.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm calling the cops.
Calling the cops. Bella's dad is a cop, I think. She
Bella
has fair grounds to get him
punching
involved.
Jacob.
Out of anger for both the pedophilia and also calling her Nessie.
The wolfie claim.
Yeah, the imprinting is a wolfie claim, and it's very weird.
And he's like, I want to protect her. And then the Cullens look, and don't look at the baby.
Don't look at the baby. There's like only like a few shots where this whole thing is tolerable, and they're all like side profiles. They're like
when
side
she's
views
so far away that they probably just used like a fucking toy or like a fake baby.
Yeah, I know there's like a really horrifying
with the baby with the 12-year-old face. Alice is like, happy birthday, and Bella's like, but there's no point. I'm a vampire.
I stopped aging 3 days ago. I was like, Bella,
that doesn't mean you can't have a fucking birthday, you dumb fuck.
The birthday is the day of your birth. You didn't becoming a vampire doesn't mean you weren't born. You stupid
After
bitch.
this episode, I'm gonna have my birthday, and I'm gonna be real happy about it. So
yeah, your birthday's
off,
coming up in a few days. Happy birthday.
Yeah. Bitch.
You're probably gonna ask for your day off on that day, would you?
I don't think I have the tenure, is what I would say.
That's true. You might have to work this one birthday because you only just started.
I'll see if I can talk to my manager and just see if instead of getting
At the
the
very
day
least, get a short day.
instead of getting the day off, I want to see if I could just schedule around my birthday instead.
Yeah. Or get a short day.
Because it's a Monday, so I could just be like, hey, I'll work Tuesday, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Then they have sex. Wait,
Yeah,
no.
they get Bella and Edward get moved to a new
They get moved to like a hobbit house. Covered in
it's a little
vines.
cottage,
Covered in
but it is
vines.
entangled. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It's like a little cottage that's like entangled in vines, so it's like a hobbit house.
Fucking hobbit ass house, and they go in. It's over fucking accessorized to the point that like if you bump into any of these shelves, like just so much shit's gonna fall over.
There's like 3 different kinds of furniture in Renesme's room. It's
Also,
a little
there's
excessive.
different like each room has a different theme. Like Renesmee room's white, and it looks like a weird wedding room.
It really
And
does.
she's got like 3 furnitures and a giant rabbit, and then one room's red, and then one room's kind of like a brown color.
I want the House Flipper DLC where we fix this fucking nightmare cottage.
That would be great.
I don't know.
They're making it so you clean the Shrek house instead.
Was that really a thing in House Flipper?
Yeah, you could go clean Shrek's house right now.
Huh. You think that would be more in Pressure Wash Simulator?
Oh wait, no, it is in Pressure Wash Simulator.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was like, wow, why would they why would you house flip the swamp? How?
Dun, dun.
Anyway.
So the difference between being a human and being a vampire is Bella has a hairdresser now.
This fella's got plucked eyebrows as well.
And she's got those like plucked eyebrow, penciled in eyebrows that like models have, because that's what a vampire does.
That's vampirism. That's just natural, I guess. Is natural penciled eyebrows.
Natural penciled vampire eyebrow. Alice picked a bunch of terrible clothes.
So many shoes.
Then they go to the bedroom and there's a bed, and Bella's like, "Why is there a bed?" And then they fuck.
Fucking yeah, they just basically have the sex.
They have sex.
Poop my pants. Poop.
What?
They have sex.
They have sex. and it's good sex. It's really good vampire
because
sex.
now they don't have to worry about hurting each other while they're doing the fuck.
What is it made of? Fucking like concrete.
Fucking adamantium bed.
Adamantium bed. Her shirt gets ripped, and it was her favorite shirt. And they have sex.
Purple.
And there's sparkles, and I imagine there's like an entire page about how good this feels in the book.
I don't remember, but that is a very high possibility that there was a point where she talks about how good the vampire sex is. Apparently, like Rosalie and Emmett were having all sorts of like
they were having
hot vampire sex for a decade.
Vampire sex that like everyone just thought it was cringe.
They were just taking. Well, they went for like a whole decade with it, and it was just like.
And good thing they had the cover of being brother and sister, so they can fuck and make everyone feel real weird.
To be fair, it's adoptive. They're supposed to be like step family is the cover, but it is still like. Yeah, if any humans observe this, they would be fucking weird.
It's like, are you guys like?
I think that was even established as kind of like they're all adopted by Dr. Cullen, but they're all together even then, which is still.
They get a phone call, and Charlie's been calling twice a day every night since like Bella had the emergency spa treatment in Switzerland, according to them.
Yeah.
And they're just like, so yeah, we're just gonna tell him you're dead. And she's fine with that. And Jacob's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck's wrong with y'all people?
So Jacob bikes home upset, but he actually bikes to the secret forest clearing that Charlie's in because he's chopping some wood.
I think he's just he's either at his house or he's at a place on the reservation.
And he spills the beans that Bella's fine, but she's different. And Charlie's like, "What the fuck do you mean different?" And then Jacob starts taking off his clothes.
And Charlie reacts very much as you should. He's like,
What?
Jacob, put your pants on, please. Put your
Jacob,
clothes
I
on.
don't want to see this. I don't.
Stop getting naked in front of me. And
Stop
then he
getting-
turns into the
And then he
wolf.
turns into a werewolf. And Charlie's like, "What the fuck?"
What's noticeable here is that they add like an effect where Jacob's body starts turning around and like steam starts coming off of him. That was
Steamy.
not in the other movies. This is a new feature they added for this movie. And honestly, I feel like it should have been in the earlier ones. It would have been a lot more consistent that way. And
The visual effects budget in this one is so all over the fucking place, because sometimes you get something that's like moderately impressive, and then sometimes you'll just get like, yeah, you're on a green screen.
you'll get weird green screen running. And this is a movie that was like $136 million. And they could not spring for more, I guess, for the budget here.
That all?
How's it? Like, it's $9 million more than the last movie had for a budget, but still.
Is that all you could do?
This is all they could do.
You know how
No, this
sad
is-
that is?
It is very sad. It is very sad.
What? How much money did this make compared to like the first one?
Compared to like the first Breaking Dawn?
No, the first like Twilight.
The first Twilight, okay. Well, first off, the Breaking Dawn Part 2 made $848 million at the box office.
Okay.
The first Twilight made $408 million. Okay, so it doubled it.
Okay.
So, still.
Where'd all that money go?
I don't know. Well, that's the thing. The box office is a take after the movie's already been released. The budget
Yeah, but I mean the budget. Like, where'd all that money go?
the $136 million, I have fucking no clue.
Was it just paying
Probably all
people's-
the actors
was it-
that
was
they
it
had to pay.
paying contracts? To, like,
There was
Michael
they
Sheen?
got so many fucking people on the cast list, dude. The cast list is like four fucking four fucking columns long
And then it's a bunch of characters I've never heard of before.
that are not gonna matter.
So, yeah, vampires are real. Werewolves also real. And then they smash cut to him talking to Edward. Like, he didn't even leave. He's at Edward's place.
And he's like, I want to see my daughter.
I want to see my daughter. So they put
It's
her in
not that southern, but
they give her contact lenses, and it's like, here's some human lessons, and it's like, you are the most recently human, Bella.
how is it that being turned into a vampire means she forgets how to walk at a normal speed,
How to pretend
blink,
she's breathing.
how to breathe? Like, how do you forget all of these things immediately upon... You think she'd have the opposite problem of struggling with the fact that she doesn't breathe anymore, where she's still doing the motions, and everyone's like, you really don't need to do that.
You only need to do that in front of the humies.
You'd think, yeah. If they started calling people humies in this movie, I feel like it would be way more endearing.
Charlie thinks Bella's an anamorph. And
yeah, he's like...
She keeps trying to talk about how she's gonna leave soon, and he's like, "You can't do that to me, Bella. You can't just go
Even
to
if
Florida.
you are an anamorph.
You can't just go to Florida because you're an anamorph, Bella.
I'm sick of you always leaving. You can't go to Florida now.
You can't go to Florida for one scene and then come back."
Not this time.
So Bella tells him that, like, there's things you can know, and there's things that you don't have to know. Here's your weird nightmare. Here's your weird
Here's
nightmare.
your granddaughter.
Here's your nightmare granddaughter.
And I just started imitating Charlie running and screaming in panic.
She's getting
It's just-
taller, by the way. Now she's kind of like a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old.
Yeah, she's rapidly aging, as was established previously when she spent barely like a few months in Bella. But it's just like, even then, they're still superimposing the 12-year-old face onto these like 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds, and it's horrible.
So Emmett says randomly that he still thinks he's stronger than Bella, so they just have like a a CG rock arm wrestling contest.
Gambit carries over CG Rock, and then they go and they do an arm wrestle, and she wins, and then she punches the Rock a bunch.
She punches the rock, and then she goes to the light, and she's sparkling like a little bit. Not really.
Kinda. And she doesn't even look all that pale, which is weird. I mean, I guess the idea is that she still got some of her blood still in her. I don't know.
I guess I sort of feel like I don't know. I feel like she was kind of pale to begin with.
She was kind of pale to begin with, but she somehow became less pale as a vampire.
But which is really weird because, like, if I recall, wasn't she from like?
She was from Florida, or she
yeah.
was.
Well, I mean, she was in New Mexico before that.
Well, she was in New Mexico. Wait, no, was she in New Mexico?
I don't think she's from Forks, is she?
She's not. Well, she was born in Forks, but she was raised in Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah, she grew up in Phoenix.
Okay.
But like
Jacob is fixing a bike, and the CGI toddler, and they're gonna send somebody to. Someone's going to Brazil. I don't.
Well, Alice and Jasper are going to Brazil. Their plan is to go to Brazil, but they tell wait, we've skipped a scene.
What?
Well, because we had we had a bunch of time skips, and then we had RENESME and Jacob and Bella playing in the snow, and RENESME jumping up and catching snowflakes.
Yeah, that's after this.
That's after this?
Yeah.
Okay. But Alice and Jasper don't go to Brazil at this point until after that.
They talk about Brazil. I thought
they talk about Brazil.
I wrote, are they going to send RENESME to Brazil? You're going to send my daughter to Brazil?
No. That's later.
But they see RENESME jump up, and the Denali sisters are like, "Oh my god!"
One of them, Arena.
And Bella runs after her, and she jumps off a cliff, and really bad move because Bella should have jumped off the cliff too and like gone swimming after her.
Yeah. The fact that she doesn't try to chase after her by cliff diving, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you've done this before. And now you're a vampire, so you don't have the risk of drowning.
You can't drown, and also it'd be some kind of like weird full circle thing where it's like, oh, I dive in the water again, but I'm in control instead of having no control.
Yeah, wouldn't that just be kind of neat?
Fucking do that.
But no, instead you just kind of let her go to tell everyone that you saw a vampire child, which are super forbidden. They're immortal children, as they are called.
This really could have been a phone call.
It could have been a phone call. You could have called. Wait, you'd think that the Cullens would be able to call the Denali clan up in Alaska and be like, "Hey, so Arena just like saw our weird vampire child.
She saw our weird half vampire child. Can you tell her not to worry about it? Like,
to not freak out. Like,
she's nice. You could come talk to her. She likes crayons.
She's drawing with crayons right now. Just puts the phone over to Renesmee. Hi,
I like crayons.
See?
They fit in my nose. Hey.
Renesmee, stop stuffing the crayons in your nose, sweetie.
I don't know.
I don't know what.
Edward plays the piano with his kid, and then the Volturi are there and stuff, and
well, they're told that the Cullens have an immortal child. Where I think this is where we get the explanation. This was actually put earlier in the books, but they moved it to here, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
So they introduced the concept of immortal children. Which is basically like when you sire an actual child because they're so cute that you want to make them immortal children. Then it's. But the thing is, because they're children that are perpetually never able to grow up, their underdeveloped brains just
stupid child brain.
They're just stupid child brains in a vampire's body, and they just end up completely raising whole villages.
Because they're stupid children.
Because they're stupid children, and it turns out that the original mother of the Denali clan had sired an immortal child, and we get to see the flashback of like
Yeah, we see the flashback, and like
just this baby covered with like blood smeared all
also
over its
Alice
mouth.
dreams of Organization 13.
And Alice has visions of Organization 13 bearing down on them. We gotta talk a bit more about the flashback. Where
So they're just in like a random village, and there's a bunch of dead bodies, and then there's this like little stupid 5-year-old, like he's got SpaghettiOs on his face, but instead of SpaghettiOs, it's blood.
we're just like being very sad. It's just like doing like stupid kid voice.
I'm
And just being
5 year
like,
old.
hi, I'm
I'm
5 year
5
old.
year. I'm 5 year old.
I am always 5 year old.
I'm 5 year old for 500 years.
Forever.
Forever.
And
I like
like
horses.
I like horses. I like eating horses.
So they ripped the mom's head off.
They ripped the Denali clan mother's head off,
Then they throw
set it on fire,
set it
throw
on
it into the
fire,
fire.
and then throw it into a pile of bodies that are also on fire, and then they just throw the baby into the fire too.
Pick up the immortal child, and it's just like, are we having s'mores? And then
Are
they
we having
throw,
s'mores? And then Arrow's like, yes.
and then tosses him
And
into the
tosses
fire.
the child into the fire, and he goes, woof.
And we were just
And
going
Dakota
like,
Fanning's
wee.
there.
Dakota Fanning's there. I went like, wee.
Wee, ah!
And this is where the series peaked, ladies and gentlemen. Baby tossed into a fire. Okay, a small child, but still.
And These Hot Idiots, the only podcast where we laugh at a child getting burned alive.
And declare it to be the peak of a series.
The peak of the series.
This is it. It's all downhill from here. This
Then
child
they
in a
start talking
bonfire.
about Alec and Jane. These two people.
They've been in the movies before, it's just Ash has completely forgotten them.
Who the
Jane is Dakota Fanning's character, and Alec is her older brother.
the Shadow
who is the
Man.
He is the Shadow Man. I think his thing is that he can make people scared.
Okay.
Like his shadows make scurry. That's what
Alice made a note in a Shakespeare book just saying, "Lol, bye. I took Jasper with me."
It was in The Merchant of Venezia.
In The Merchant of Venezia. Why are you calling it Venice?
Why?
Why?
It's called Venezia. Call it Venezia.
Call it Venezia. So, Bella drives a Volvo to Alaska with Edward and Jacob and their daughter.
I think Edward was the one driving the Volvo, right?
Yeah.
It's his Volvo, I guess.
And they go to Alaska where the Denali are, because that's the mountain in Alaska, and they're going to.
Yeah, Mount Denali. They live up there, and they're like, "Hey, so Irina fucked up."
Irina fucked up, and yeah.
Here's our half vampire kid. Ah!
Ah! What's wrong with its face?
She's a perfectly normal. There's points where like we learn that this is where around some point we learned that it was actually during the piano scene, I think, where we learned that RENESME has the ability to project her own thoughts onto people.
I
And
guess?
she does that with like Bella at one point. And she starts doing that with other people kind of to pass on knowledge.
The cheek
But-
touch.
Yeah, it's the cheek touch. But every time they do this, they're supposed to be they have these looks that are supposed to be like astonishment at what this child is doing, but but in my head it just looks like they're like horrified.
What the fuck am I looking at?
What the fuck is this? Like they're just terrified of this like child with a fucking preteen's face.
The vampires attack Bella and the gang, and she fights them. And then she admits they had the sex and that it's a child of her and Edward's. Jacob's just holding her because that's his girlfriend, and at least they didn't have the fucking child actor like say they didn't.
They did not have any point
like,
where the child actor like reciprocated
that affection towards Jacob, which kind of makes things worse if you think about it.
which would make things so it just Well, no, it would be so much worse if she reciprocated.
Yeah.
It would just make everything so much more uncomfortable.
God, I'm sorry. I'm just
Like
watching Linkara run toward me.
it is helping us get through this, I think.
This new Superman book is terrible.
Ah.
Ah! I have a gun.
Okay, to be fair, he's doing Event Comics Month around this time, I believe.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's still going on. Yeah, it is because
So to prove that this is not the immortal child, they go with Alice's note and say they need witnesses, and they go to Egypt somehow, and actor Rami Malek is there.
yeah, so they start going to various locations and picking up like people from like the Amazon and
He
just
played
kind of all around the U.S.
He played a pharaoh in Night at the Museum, and then was in this, and then
Yes.
became Mr. Robot.
Well, let's be fair. He was also in the Old Boy remake where he got a hammer claw put in his skull by Josh Brolin.
I think that was a little bit after this.
That was just like that was a year after Breaking Dawn, and then he became Mr. Robot.
Go watch the original Old Boy and just kind of ignore the ending where like he fucked his daughter.
Okay, no, don't ignore the ending because that's part of the horror of that whole thing. Like,
it's real. It's very dark.
Also, we're probably gonna now have to put like spoiler warnings for Old Boy 2003 on this Twilight podcast.
Don't worry, I already spoiled like Better Call Saul or whatever.
we don't put spoilers for Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Saul Goodman goes to prison.
God damn it!
And all
right, well there we go.
chanting,
Spoiler warnings for
Saul. Better Call Saul, and then he's like, yeah.
So spoiler warnings for Better Call Saul and Old Boy 2003.
And Kim is like, goodbye, Saul Goodman, and then it cuts to black.
So let's just note that we will not be leaving spoilers we will not be putting up spoiler warnings for Breaking Dawn Part 2.
That's what you came here for.
but we will for Better Call Saul and for Old Boy 2003.
God, fucking.
He was in Bohemian Rhapsody.
He was Freddie Mercury with the teeth.
Yes. But yeah, we get a whole bunch of
Benjamin, played by Rami Malek, is an elemental like master.
He can control all the elements. He is the Avatar.
He is the Avatar master of 4 elements. He can like water bend, and he makes a little tornado in RENESME's
a tornado
hand.
of like dirt.
A dirt tornado.
He does like later. He does a shitty little fire on his finger.
Fire from my hands.
Fire from his hands. We also get fucking Garrett.
Garrett.
This guy sucks.
Oh, also the 2 Amazon vampires who.
Oh yeah, Senna and Safrina, but Safrina's like the only one that matters.
She can make you see things like monkeys.
Exactly, 13 monkeys.
Edward, look, exactly 13 monkeys.
I remember there was a 3rd Amazon vampire that went with them that was like the sire of these 2. But I think they just wrote her out of this movie instead. They just didn't bother.
Was just in the back of my head just going, please don't do anything racist, please.
Please, let's not get racist with this.
Then we go to Garrett, who is in New Orleans and is bitching about the Beatles.
He's upset because this dude just singing like a song that I imagine is some sort of like British pop song.
The Beatles.
He was like, I hated the second British invasion just as much as the first because he fought in the fucking like
He's
American.
Fought in every war.
He's fought in all the American wars. Yeah.
Yeah. He was there with Reagan.
He was there with Reagan. He was in the Cold War.
He helped send weapons to the Mujahideen.
Oh shit.
Then there's this guy with a flat cap.
There's a guy with a flat cap. We gotta talk about Garrett because of how much he sucks.
Garrett, they just watch him like kill a guy.
Kill a dude because it's like, oh well, I can't leave witnesses. Like you fucking super speed ran at this dude and put him up against the wall.
Everything's your fault, Garrett. These are the worst masquerade keepers.
They are the worst masquerade keepers. God damn it, Ronan the Accuser over here.
Uh,
Yes, that is actually what he played Ronan the Accuser in Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah, probably got more
So
money
that's
doing
that.
it too. Uh,
Probably got more money from that, yeah.
all the vampires are hanging out at the Cullens house. 18 naked vampires.
And there's also like that the one guy, Alistair, who's like a friend of Carlisle's, and he just kind
Also,
of
the
goes in
the
the attic
werewolves
and
are
fucks off.
joining, and Jacob is training them, and he's got 3 goofy goober ass werewolves with him.
One of them just flops onto his back while transforming like a
Yeah,
ding dong.
like a ding dong. What a ding dong!
That's what we just trying to call them. Is just a bunch of ding dongs.
Jacob and his ding dongs, and yeah, Alistair from Dragon Age.
Alistair from Dragon Age
The
is here for the
Amazon
land's meat.
vampire. The Amazon vampire makes Edward see some stuff, and Bella has the power of no.
She has the shield. She has a shield, as they call it, where it's like she can basically nullify like vampire like powers, except for fucking except for Alice's like fucking future sight and Jasper's emotion manipulation. She can't block those, I guess,
For some inexplicable reason.
for reasons.
It's almost like they thought about this afterward.
Most likely.
Uh, they tase Garrett because
Yes.
the Denali vampire has tasing power. She's
Yeah, the vampire Kate has like electric powers, so we just get multiple times where Garrett just gets tased or Edward's getting tased.
And then there's some extra vampires here, and the Ding Dong Boys follow the vampires, and they run into Jacob, and he falls over.
Yeah, because
as
these two
little
guys,
CG wolves,
the Romanian vampires, Stefan and Vladimir.
Stefan and Vladimir, and they have the most like they're trying to get the accent.
The most inconsistent accents.
But
You
it's
said one
so-
sounded Italian,
One sounded Italian and the other sounded Russian.
and the other sounded Russian.
And it's like Romania's not Russia. They're close, but it's not exact.
And I had learned this like a couple of days ago. Noel Fisher, the guy who plays Vladimir, the brunette Romanian vampire, he was also Troy McGinty in Max Keeble's Big Move.
Who was Troy McGinty?
I believe Troy McGinty. Yeah, he was one of the bullies.
Oh my god.
He wasn't the rich boy. He wasn't the rich bully, but he was like
Also, Hobson's in that, and he made kind of cringe rap.
he made cringe rap. Yeah, Troy was like I think
If you want to suffer, just look up Hobson's happy ending, and then come back to us, and then go.
Please
Why
don't.
did you?
Please
Why did you
don't.
make me do that? You piece of shit, Ash.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Fun story. One of our friends,
One of our
Rob.
friends is a Hobson fan, and then I linked him that, and then he never talked about him again.
I think you killed his love of Hobson.
Because like he was like, "Yo, Ash, this guy's like rapping real truths about like rap culture and all these like dumb people doing drugs, and you know I really resonate with that message." And then I give him the him Hobson doing the Chinese accent with the din 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 din.
And it just killed it right
And
there.
Rob's like, never mind.
I'm done with this, man.
I'm done. Sorry, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Yeah, I ruined that for him. Sorry.
So yeah, and now you all had to think about that when you think about Stefan and Vladimir. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
we
Max
we
Keeble's
went down a
big
chain.
move.
Max Keeble's big move.
The vampires touch base, and Edward's like, Carlisle doesn't want to fight, but I do, because I want to fight for my family and my wife and my weird nightmare baby.
A weird nightmare child.
Jane and Alec are just attacking a Japanese guy.
They're just jumping a dude because I think this might have been something they added in for the movie where it's like they're kind of going around to mitigate as many witnesses as they can, just like because they think it's like building an army over here, and they just take down Toshiro, this Japanese vampire.
Did not a single human fuck a vampire and have a kid before?
That is
In
surprising.
all the
I guess,
history of ever.
and didn't survive the fucking like pregnancy.
So they're giving Bella vampire training, and it's super effective, even though it doesn't look super effective here.
No, the results are better shown in like
They
the
train Bella by repeatedly tasering Edward.
they keep tasing Edward
They
with
keep
Kate's
tasing
like electric
Edward
power.
until like until like she finally gets the shield over him, and I just kept wanting her to drop it again. He's like, ah,
Ah!
oh, got you,
Would be so great.
you, you bitch.
Fuck.
Bella, fuck, stop having a personality.
Don't do that.
Yeah, the shield works, and then Bella reads a good night book to RENESME.
And she wonders if Aunt Alice and Uncle Jasper are coming back. And I think this is around where like Bella figures out that like the paper she got they used for the note is from the Merchant of Venezia.
Yeah, Venezia. And that there's more notes in the book, and it's like you didn't look at the book before now.
You didn't look at the copy. You didn't wonder where they got this like
Where'd you get
page?
this copy of Merchant of Venice?
Yeah, and she finds like written on like the inside is like the name J. Jenks and like I think an address.
Yeah,
Or a
J.
number?
Jenks, and an address, and there's more Williams than you can shake a spear at. Because I thought of that pun and I wanted to say it.
Yes, of course. Fair
Bella
enough.
burns the book, and Jacob's just bitching. Then it's
I think she-
Christmas.
Yeah, it's Crimbus, and they're leaving Renesmee and Jacob at Charlie's house to do
for
Crimbus
Crimbus
stuff.
stuff, and it's normal. And then they meet the kind of chubby guy named Jay Jenks, and
Jay Jenks, played by actor Wendell Pierce from The
guess
Wire.
I guess he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer who has worked for Jasper for 20 years, and his like boss before him did like 15 years with him. It's kind of implied that Jay Jenks knows what's up, and that he's kind of in on he's a secret keeper for Jasper.
Yeah.
And he's basically got forged passports for Jacob and Renesmee.
I'm just telling them to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, to get them the fuck out in case anything goes wrong.
But Bella doesn't want to, so she just has a sad Volvo montage. I wish it was an envelope full of quiche, but it wasn't.
It wasn't an envelope full of quiche. I don't know why you wanted this envelope full of quiche.
I don't know. He started talking about deliveries.
And just started thinking of quiche.
Quiche's Lorraine.
Quiche's Lorraine.
But fucking Jenks wants some cash money, so she's got to pay that retainer.
You got to pay the retainer fee. Yeah. He did like 2 hours, I think, on that dinner meeting.
Well, I mean, it was a consultation for sure. That's
2-hour consultation. I think that's about.
That's at least some labor for Jenks.
Yeah, that's and they're you're paid by the hour, so. And she gets a whole bunch of stacks. I think Jasper left her a bunch of stacks to pay.
She left a bunch of money because that's a big retainer.
Big retainer.
Because not only are you retaining retaining the fact that he's your lawyer, you're also retaining the fact that he knows you're a vampire.
And also the fact that he probably knows you're a vampire.
No, that's a big retainer.
That's big services.
That's gonna be $750. So, shit, where am I? Charlie wants to go fishing.
Yeah, the first scene was like pre-Christmas, and like weirdly she just says she has to do errands. I think in the book she kind of says like, "Oh, I got to do some Christmas shopping," which does make sense, but they don't really say that.
Finally, I think that's just her child actor.
That's just it. That we're finally at the point where the face and the body aligns.
Why couldn't you just find multiple similar-looking children and just like fudge it a little bit, versus like, let's have a fake baby with her.
Let's CG the child's face onto a baby.
Like, do you think anyone gives a fuck that the baby might not look exactly like the child actor you've got?
I know there was like a horrible like animatronic baby or something like that, like something that was going to be used before they went with the CGI baby. Oh dear God.
I don't want to think about the CGI baby.
Like, no, you don't understand. There was gonna be a prop baby or like a practical effects baby,
Okay, there was
and it's
another
just as
leak and a
horrifying.
big lawsuit for part 2 as well.
What was that?
Leaks and lawsuits. I forgot to get the soundtrack.
Okay,
So
but
I'm
yeah,
just I'm doing that real quick while we're talking.
en- enjoy unsettling practical effects baby.
Ah,
that
what the fuck? Is that real?
was I think that was the pre-plan. Like, either that's what they just used, or
Ew. Ew. I don't like it.
there are so many pictures of this horrifying creature.
What the fuck is that?
It's the baby prop they used before they just kind of put. I think either they were going to use that, or that's just like the replacement before they put in the.
God, it looks like someone painted like a fucking. You know how like people in the medieval times didn't know how to draw babies, so they would just like make small adults with like big eyes.
Yeah, the but why though?
Yeah, it's like that, but like real,
Sculpted.
but but sculpted, and it's being held by like fucking Rosalie, I think.
Yeah,
And it's like, yeah,
I I I feel like we would make this the the thumbnail, but we don't want to scare people. But yeah, if you just look like Breaking Dawn baby doll,
ew.
it was yeah. Oh yeah, no, this was apparently supposed to be like the depiction before they went with the CGI baby. I don't know which is worse.
There's a bad fire effect for Rami Malek because he's got to light up things with fire.
He's got to show he's got mastery of all four
They
elements.
want me to give a shit about Alistair and Garrett, and I fucking don't.
I don't care about Alistair. I don't get his
They
fucking
give him a
backstory.
line of like, "Oh, I was in every war," and it's like, okay, cool.
It's like he talks about Custer, but it's like, man, does that mean you fought in the American Revolution? You could have prevented Alexander Hamilton's death. You could have prevented Philip Hamilton's death.
Yeah,
I want that version where it's Garrett versus George Eaker, and like Eaker like does the fucking sneak attack on him, and it doesn't affect him because he's a vampire, and he
there's
just
a
goes like,
vampire duelist who just like wins. Well, I mean, okay, so there was this one story about fucking Andrew Jackson, and what it
oh yeah,
would be like if they shot at him and it like grazed his leg or they missed. Instead of shooting back as fast as possible, he would just point the gun at their head and get a really good aim and then kill them.
yeah. But it's
Just a
like he's like
vampire doing that.
Eager like shoots him before the count's done. And he's just like, Now where was I? Oh yes, 8, 9, 10 paces.
Look, man, if you get Garrett, if you've been around this long, you should at least know about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dual commandments. 10, 10
Exactly.
dual commandments. Number 1, oh, Yapapai strap. No.
No.
Number 2.
I'm
10
surprised that hasn't been a
10
Botchamania
the 10
ending.
Yapapai commandments.
I'm surprised that
The
hasn't been
10
a
strap commandments. That's what it is.
Strap Commandments. That's got to be a Botchamania ending,
3,
man.
Flash bubble. Hulk Hogan's a racist.
Hulk Hogan's a racist. All right.
So Renesmee's sad, and I said at this point I don't give a shit, and then the movie didn't either.
He was mentally checked out at this point because this is the most
Hard cut
boring.
to a random clearing full of snow.
Oh my god, the absolute whiplash of this like hard cut. That's right.
And then some like zooming along nature, like you're watching Survivor Man or Man vs. Wild, and like Bear Grylls is like, I'm in the Alaskan wilderness, and
I gotta drink my pee.
I've gotta eat bear shit to live.
I gotta drink my pee.
And it's like, yeah, and they're in a clearing, and then the Cullens roll up, and then the
The
organization.
fucking camera like pans straight down, and we joked about like what if it just like hit the snow, like damn it.
Yes. And then the Volturi
camera-
roll up, and Garrett gets some one-liners, and I don't care.
He says like, if we live, I'm gonna go with you, woman. He just calls Kate woman.
Woman.
Garrett fucking sucks.
I'm writing a Garrett. This is a bad Garrett.
This is a bad Garrett. This Garrett sucks.
Organization 13 are here, and then the wolves.
The wolves are here. Everybody's rolling up to have a talk.
They're gonna have a talk. That could have been a phone call.
Could have been a phone call. We could have flown out to Italy
And then,
to talk.
they just talk about how like the child isn't immortal. It's growing up quickly, but it's got a heart and it beats. And then one of the other vampires just yells, "Artifice!"
Octopus, and Michael Sheen goes like,
And then Alice walks up to him and takes his hand and shows him all the times Edward and Bella fucked.
oh yeah, no, it's Edward. It was Edward.
Oh, Edward comes up and then shows. Edward shows up, walks up, and gives Michael Sheen all the
I know his name's
times.
Aro, but
All the times they fucked, and he just gets this weird face.
I wish I had screenshot it.
Ha! Well, we could go back and screenshot it.
Yeah, we'll probably have that as the screenshot for the episode because we're not using the fucking doll baby.
I'm gonna come.
It is very close to a cum face, and we're just joking around of just like,
Also,
Like,
Bella
it's
can
very-
fucking like mind project her shield so fucking far now.
Yeah. From where she started from before, which is like about 5 feet or so.
Yeah, it's just off screen. Whatever.
A
They bring
whole jar of
RENESME up, and then
Nutella?
she laughs, and then she says, "My name's Evanescence."
My name's RENESME.
My
That's a
name's
stupid name,
That's
child.
a fucking stupid name. I'm Aura.
I'm Aro, and I'm here with Caius, and I think that's a stupid
Caius.
name.
Artifice.
I'm just thinking. I just keep thinking. A whole jar of Nutella, Edward.
A whole jar. Oh.
Just
I'm
the
not gonna
idea
shit
of
on Michael Sheen. He got paid and he's having fun.
Michael Sheen is clearly having fun, and he's probably the one highlight going on in this scene.
So he starts giving this speech about half mortal and half immortal.
Not how that works, Aro.
No. Then he brings the informer, the keep boom boom down.
Yeah, he's Arena. Is this the child you saw? He's like, no, I fucked up.
I fucked up. She admits
They
the
just kill
Cullens
her.
were innocent and they kill her. Things start
And that
popping off.
upsets the Denali clan. They're almost about to fight, but
Things are
then
popping off, but Edward talks them back down with the help of person who can't.
Zafrina.
Amazon girl number 1.
Zafrina. Zafrina basically, it's actually one of the cooler things that happens here is that they use Zafrina's like illusion casting to blind everyone.
I'm blind.
Just remove their sight entirely. It's like that's actually kind of neat. Like I don't know, I kind of like that.
Edward
weirdly.
gets told to shit himself, but the shield's working.
Sadly, no, it is not. Jane's power is that she can just make people hurt. She doesn't have the ability to tell people to shit themselves. I wish.
Are you sure she's not just like shit yourself? You know?
No, but I promise you, I wish that was the case. I wish this
Bella!
was like a situation. I wish this was the case where it was like a Code Geass or fucking. Oh, is it Inumaki from Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah, like cursed speech.
Yeah, cursed speech stuff. I wish, but no.
Then Ara starts just bitching about how it's really hard to be a vampire these days. It's just it's so hard, and you guys wouldn't understand how hard it is because
And humans now have modern technology
everyone's got Bing.
the
Everyone's got-
humans with that modern technology can kill us now. It's like, man, I wish we could have seen that.
They have Yahoo Answers. They're
Yeah,
going-
we can be stopped.
we could be stopped with Yahoo Answers.
I don't. Man, I
Alice
don't
and
know.
Jasper just kind of walk up because they knew where everyone was, and she
They-
gives Arrow the visions.
she kind of like starts giving visions like, it doesn't matter what I show you, you've already made up your mind, and like she turns and kind of mouths now, and this is where things kick off.
A 10-minute fight sequence that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but we gotta talk a bit about it because we get stuff like just fucking Aro and Carlisle leap up into the air, and then they kind of like both land, and then Carlisle's body just flops down, pans over. Aro's got Carlisle's head in his hand. It's like, oh, that was actually really well
Alice
done.
hits a sweet chin music on him and flies through the air. Carlisle then Linkara runs towards Arrow and then gets killed when they jump in midair. And then they run, and then the doggies fight, and then they all run. And
Everyone's fighting.
Bella gets
People
bounced.
are hitting clotheslines everywhere. There's like fucking.
Emmett hits a choke slam.
Emmett hits a choke slam. There's a pounce in there somewhere.
Jasper gets killed, and then there's like he gets pushed into fake CG snow, and then Michael Sheen's just confused, and then some vampires chase Renesmee.
I think Emmett was the one who got pushed into fake CG snow, or someone else did. Jasper gets his head chopped off.
Dakota Fanning. One of the wolves
tries to
dies,
do pain,
but we don't know which one. It was just kind of.
It might have been Seth.
It was just a brown one, and then all the wolves are woo, and then Jacob is 3D sad wolf as he runs away, and then there's a vampire that flies towards him.
He's carrying off Renesmee to get out of there.
Rami Malek has to do something, so he earthbends like a giant like crevice in the earth.
He makes a whole ass canyon in just somewhere in the middle of Forks.
Yeah, and the whole thing collapses into lava.
There's lava. We are so
Rami
deep
Malek
that we're
just
seeing lava.
Sank the fucking Washington into the sea.
He just sank Washington into the sea.
How deep is this fucking hole? We get a Wilhelm
People
scream.
are dropping into the hole. Like Edward almost drops into the hole at one point, but then he jumps and goes through a rock out to attack the guy. I think the fight
one of the ding dong woffs fall into the hole.
Yes, this is insane.
And then Edward,
we wish we could describe it better, but
fights the guy that looks like the Miz, hits him with a neck.
Yeah, there's that Miz looking guy. There's a dude who just looks like the Miz.
And he breaks his head off, and then Alice has to stop Dakota Fanning, and then Dakota Fanning gets killed by a black wolf. I think that was probably like Sam or whatever.
Yeah, someone like that.
Everyone's head just pops off like Legos.
Like Lego men getting their heads like right off.
Garrett's there, and then the girl rips a guy's head by the jaw.
Oh yeah, fucking Kate like grabs onto like I want to say it was Caius's head, grabs him and just pulls by his jaw, yanks like part of his head off. Is like, holy shit! I did not expect him to go there with that one.
Bella's too busy doing a Jean Grey impression to do anything, and
she's just shielding everyone she can in range.
And Edward and Bella like team up, and then he does like an assisted spin kick maneuver where he like uses her as a fulcrum.
Throws her at Aro. They eventually knock Aro's head off, and then Bella grabs like the torch that they use to like kill Irina, and just fucking goes and lights his head on fire, and that's it. They didn't kick him in the balls, but then like we see the flames, and then suddenly boom, like nothing, not even like a wipe, just cut.
That was a vision Alice gave him of what will happen, and he's like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, and Stefan and Vladimir get utterly bodied by Aro.
Yeah, they're like, we could still kill them. And it's like, nah. And then all the fucking Volturi are just like, what can you do? You know,
well, they bring out a dude. They bring out this dude whose name Nahuel.
They bring out this Brazilian guy, and he's dressed like a jungle man.
He's there with his aunt Whelan, who's like who he turned to a vampire to take care of him. He's a half human, half vampire.
That fight was like 10 minutes, by the way. It's just.
It was a 10-minute fight. It was probably the coolest moment of the movie, and then it turns out it didn't have it at all.
No, it was just a meeting. It could have been a phone call.
Could have been a phone call. I think it's the fact that we got.
Alice could have done this by herself by just taking fucking Bella, Edward, and their kid to Italy, and just like chatting over coffee.
Maybe just go make a quick jump to Brazil. Like call Aro and say, "Hey, I'm going down to Brazil. I got somebody that you'll want to meet.
I got someone you
He's
want to
real."
meet, and then I'm gonna bring Bella up here, and we're gonna fucking touch base, and then we're good, right?
Yeah, because I know you guys heard about the whole
I
immortal
know you
child
guys heard
thing.
about it, but we have a, I just waited out.
We can
I
explain.
got
Just
something
let us.
cool. You don't need to bring all
Oh,
your ding dongs across the like fucking Atlantic Ocean.
we
Like,
don't. You don't need to bring Organization 13 along here.
let's talk over coffee or whatever the vampire equivalent is, but a hot cup of blood.
Hot cup of blood. Some nice warm O negative.
Nice warm typo negative. And we'll hash this out. We're just gonna have a little meeting. But no,
I think,
they
I
they
think
went to the wood, they went to the forest, and then had a big fake fight scene.
that didn't happen. I think the fact that it was ultimately just a vision after just that moment where everything was really cool for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, you think there'd
And
be consequences? The movie teases you with something happening, like
it
consequences.
offers the shaking up of the status quo. Several of the main characters
And
dying just as.
a bittersweet ending that at least like has some fucking teeth.
And
And then
also the entirety of and the entirety of Washington sinking.
and the entire of Washington sinking into the ocean, but like an ending that feels like it's definitive in the sense that it's changed how things are.
Hmm.
And then it just doesn't happen, and then they're like, "Oh, we're good. Here's some guy." And
Here's
he's
a
like,
guy who proves that Renesmee is fine and not a threat. And then
they're like,
Ario's just
"I
like,
guess,
fuck it, let's go.
fuck it, let's go back to Italy."
All right, that's been a fun time. And then Stefan and Vladimir, they're starting to go like they're gonna like, all right, they're running away, let's get them. And it's like, man, you guys did not see the part where, like Alice showed where you guys got utterly bodied
Yeah,
by
and also they
Aro.
knew away all the vampires run real fast. It's
They're
like
on like
it's like
fast
I
forward.
sped up them leaving footage.
It's really.
And there's these random whip pans of everyone saying their goodbyes, and I still don't give a fuck about Garrett.
Stefan and Vladimir are mad because they thought they would have their revenge because they were. That's the thing. Stefan and Vladimir were like the top dog vampires
In
of
Romania?
of before. There's like a whole story behind it.
And
Yeah,
they don't talk about
they stomped out the Romanian coven, and now they're mad and they're like, at least we were openly evil.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it just kind of makes you realize, man, maybe this whole group kind of sucks.
This group was unnecessary, especially because this could have been a fucking meeting.
This could have just been a meeting. It could have been a nice little chat over biscuits and
Biscuits and blood.
biscuits and blood.
They could have just fucking shook hands and just Bella could have enjoyed their fucking honeymoon in Italy or whatever, like honeymoon
Well,
part
not that
2.
honeymoon, but like they could have just enjoyed their Christmas without all this
They enjoyed their
nonsense.
Christmas in Italy and bring Charlie with them so he could fish in Italy or whatever.
No, don't bring Charlie with them. They're talking to vampires. That's a bad idea.
Well, maybe it's just we're talking to weird Italians and that would be good enough for him.
I don't know.
Yeah, these
But yeah, now we get
Italians
the
are
wrap
pretty
up.
weird. We get the wrap up of Jacob talking about his future girlfriend, the child.
The child. Yeah, he goes like, "Would it be okay if I call you Dad to Edward?" And it's just like, Jacob,
No.
Jacob, I swear to God, if you don't fucking shut up.
Why'd you have to remind me about how much Jacob sucks?
I don't want to be like we managed to go through actually a lot of this movie without harping as much on the fact that Jacob's a pedophile, but
they
then
distracted from it. They distracted me.
they really distracted us from the fact.
And then Alice has visions of when she's fully grown and with her mother and Edward and him, and it's like.
And Jacob, yeah, and it's just like, no.
And by the way, she's gonna be a full adult when she's 7. I hate
Fucking
it. I hate it.
hate it. Hate it.
I
This is
hate
the
it.
most. This is the absolute worst. You could take any of the other problematic elements, and you could excuse it. Sure, like you could justify it. That's part of the dark romance elements of Twilight, but this is just disgusting.
Look, man,
Like this.
I'm not one of those fucking Puritans who like call everything I don't like pedophilia because I'm a
No,
fucking adult. I'm a fucking
this is just
adult and I understand nuance.
this is just active pedophilia
This is just pedophilia with extra steps. I
with
don't,
extra steps.
that's
Just
all.
a fresh coat of paint to hide it, but it's just like, no, this is gross. This is
Uh,
not a
so
happy ending.
they
I
kiss
feel
in the
miserable.
flowers like everything's fine, and then Bella can just make a recap of the movies happen with her brain.
And she can make a Christina Perry AMV.
She can make a Christina Perri movie.
That's basically what
So they
happens.
kiss and all the flowers die, and then they become a book. The end.
Yeah, and it shows like the last like sentence of the Breaking Dawn, and it highlights forever,
Forever,
and then
forever.
and then we get 10 minutes of credits,
10 minutes of
and
credits where
to my shock,
everyone gets a face and a name, and
every character is listed, and that includes all the people who are here, but it even includes people who were not in this movie.
why?
So that means that yes, we once again, the last time we will ever see them, we get Bella's human friends. We got Jessica, we got Angela, we got Eric, we got Mike, we got B,
You
we
can't
got
fucking.
Dakota,
You
we
can't.
got Don,
You can't. I'm not gonna let you.
we got Lightning, we got Sam.
Lightning.
That is an actual character.
Who the fuck
That's
is
fucking
Lightning?
season 4, baby. We might have to continue that. We have to watch action at some point.
Fuck, man. Uh, welcome to the first Total Drama Island watch along podcast. I mean, there's probably multiple, but the first one with us.
The first one that pivots from breaking from Twilight to Total Drama Island.
Owen farts a lot. I don't really care for him, honestly, but
But somehow he managed to be so
but
popular in
he was so
America that
popular in America that he won the poll thing that like determined him winning.
or Gwen,
Or
which is weird because
Gwen,
Gwen had a character arc.
because Gwen was a character and Owen was just the fat guy.
But yeah, that we just skipped through the 10 minutes of credits, and that is
Spoilers
the
for Total Drama
spoilers for Total Drama Island.
if you're in America. If you're in Canada, though,
If if you're in America, and also it's the original, not the new Netflix reboot
yeah.
that I haven't seen either. I fucking never actually finished Action. And I should
I thought okay, we could watch it. I don't know.
watch it at some point. Yeah,
I don't know if we're gonna talk about it on here.
no, no, because this is about live action teen drama shows,
Yeah.
and
Also,
that's
I
the thing.
think
It's a
that
drama
shows.
show.
I was gonna say I think that shows for like. Oh, it's a
It's
comedy, and I think
it's
for
also
like.
more of a comedy.
I think it's more for preteens. I think. I
Yeah,
don't.
it's for preteens. Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it being for preteens. Like you can watch it right now if you want it, but
yeah,
it's for
no,
preteens.
it's pretty good. At least the first season. I don't know about the rest of them yet.
Remember that one when they're babies or toddlers or some shit?
Oh God,
Yeah, that was
terrible idea
that killed the franchise for a couple of years.
for a good while.
Uh,
All right, so
here's the songs.
that
Bittersweet
yeah, let's
by
get the song.
Ellie Goulding. Passion Pit, Where I Come From. Green Day, The Forgotten. Feist, Fire in the Water. The Boom Circuits, Everything and Nothing. Saint Vincent, The Antidote. I actually know who Feist and Saint Vincent are, and
Oh,
Green Day.
St. Vincent's on here. Sick.
Yeah, I like Saint Vincent.
Yeah.
Ellie Goulding, I've heard of her. Passion Pit, I've heard of them.
It is cool that Ellie Goulding got on
Pop
here. Yeah.
is such Ico, Heart of Stone. A Boy and His Kite, Cover Your Tracks. Ghost by James Vincent McMorrow. All I Ever Needed by Paul McDonald and Nikki Reed.
Paul McDonald, who was on the 10th season of American Idol. Nikki Reed, the actress who plays Rosalie. Also, interesting fact I learned recently, married to Ian Somerhalder.
That is weird.
That is weird and kind of interesting, just because it's
It's
like,
just very specific of just like, hey, we were both vampires in stuff, but they weren't related.
yeah.
Let's marry.
I don't think that's exactly why they married,
It's
but
not why they married, but it's just very. It's a big.
it's just
It's a
very coincidental. Of
it's
it's just
weird
Damon married
coincidence.
Rosalie, basically.
Yes, Damon married Rosalie. New for
Uh,
You by Reeve Carney, Christina Perry featuring Steve Kazee, 1,000 Years Part 2, and Carter Burwell plus K-Pop Prop AVA.
More Than My Own Life,
Yes.
and that is it.
I
Twilight done.
am disappointed.
It's just such a weak, like,
You know,
nothing.
I could go into the stereotypical anger and hatred over this movie, but here's the thing about all the fucking Twilight haters. They only talk about the first movie because that's all they know. From like, I would say pop culture secondhand absorption, I guess, would be
They don't know shit about what happens. Most of
pop
them, at
culture
least.
osmosis, I would say. Like
Yeah, the
you're
classic pop
adjacent
culture.
you're adjacent to it, so you know a little bit. But everyone just shits on the first movie and only some of the first movie, and they don't know there's four fucking movies after that, and only one of them's okay.
Only one. And just there was a time where there was dedicated,
The second
proper
movie was
hate
okay.
them, but second movie's okay, yeah.
I thought it
But
was
like,
okay.
but like majority of it, it's just they know the first movie. That's it, and that's all they have to
But
assess
like
of it.
this had a really lame tail. Like it is like fucking fell and then it
It just
stayed
fizzled
there.
out.
It fizzled. It was a two-parter nobody asked for.
This really, you could
Just
cut.
because Harry Potter did it doesn't mean you can fucking do it.
You could have cut an entire hour's worth of this and
literally.
stapled the rest onto part one,
And it'd
and
be
it would.
kind of long, but you could go. It's the finale. It's long. It's supposed to be.
It's earned it, you know.
It's earned it. You know, whatever teen girls and like middle-aged mothers like this, good for you. I'm
They'll
not
sit.
gonna
They'll
fucking.
sit for the 3 hours.
They'll sit through 3 hours. Just give them an intermission so they can go to the bathroom and get some popcorn. Not in the bathroom.
Don't get bathroom popcorn. That's
Don't
a
get
bad idea.
bathroom popcorn. That's not popcorn.
Yeah,
lying
that's
to you.
the. Yeah, feelings on the Twilight Saga overall are just like, wow, this is actually just kind of dull.
I would say the biggest feeling I feel from watching all these movies, like in about a year, I would say,
Yeah.
is I'm not sure how much Stephanie Meyer wanted to write a story about vampires.
It's hard to say.
With how much it's less like vampires and more like zombie wizards. You know?
Yeah, they're not really like.
They
They're
don't
not.
have any of the fucking like folklore or anything. They're just like zombie magic people.
Yeah, they're fucking ghouls more than anything. They're undead
fucking
wizards.
Ghoul wizards. Like
Yeah. No, and it especially
it's
is
not
noticeable
about the
when
want for blood or the desire or the temptation of it all. It's not. It really isn't.
like it's also in such stark contrast when you watch something like The Vampire Diaries,
Because
where they are
say
where
what
they
you
are
will, and it has its trashy moments, but it's about fucking vampire.
they play with so much of the rules of vampire lore
They
in
try.
The Vampire Diaries. They do shit with it. They get creative. They have the fucking wood bullets. They have all the various ways in which they have to work around
They have to work around the weaknesses and the
like
shortcomings.
inviting people in, and the fucking the like sunlight rings, and who gets a daylight ring, and all that stuff.
And yeah, they hand them out like fucking candy, but at least it's something, right?
And yeah, there is ridiculous shit like the vampire werewolf hybrid thing that Klaus is doing, but still,
Klaus.
they don't just wipe the slate and just be like, oh, we just don't have those weaknesses. Like, that's not interesting. That's dull as hell.
Playing around weaknesses makes a story more creative. Like, I'm writing that fucking Western that I'm talking about, but if it was easy and they just fucking walked for 3,000 miles and never encountered like a single problem and
Oh
everyone
yeah,
was
no.
fine and, our Garrett can handle everything that fucking comes to him, that's a boring
There's
ass
no.
story. I
It's
want
boring as
hardship.
hell.
I want hardship. I want struggle. I want weakness
Mm,
and strength because strength is, fear, strength through fear and courage are like,
mm.
cool. It's cool to be brave. It's cool
Like,
to give a shit.
but even just
It's cool
focusing
to
on
be
the
like,
vampire lore.
yeah, we're at a disadvantage, but we're gonna fight like hell.
Mm,
Cause we love each other and we're family and shit.
yeah. But
But it's
even like just focusing on vampire lore, I think of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where like Part 2, Phantom Blood, where there's an entire like just MacGuffin hunt because these beings that are basically like the next step up from vampires, they can still be affected by sunlight and be,
and they're one step away from conquering that weakness.
and that becomes like the entire thing is
And
like
that's it.
trying to kill them so that they don't claim like the red stone, which combined with the stone mask will let them like become the ultimate life form.
The ultimate life form. Sex useless. No.
Sex useless. And then you have Twilight where it's like you have none of that. You have none of
You're a
that. There's
vampire now. You live forever and there are no drawbacks and like you drink blood sometimes.
and they kind of muse about how it's a cursed life, but there's nothing about it that feels truly cursed. Like at least
Well, I
to
mean,
some.
I guess the immortality curse, but that's just like all immortality's curse of like watching all your loved ones pass. But like,
But
you don't
even
have to be
like
vampires to do that. You can just be immortal or ghouls
I
or
might be a
undead.
night owl for like a nocturnal bastard who doesn't like going out in the day, but I imagine for someone else, the idea of never being able to go out in the sun would probably actually be really horrible. Or just
Yeah,
the temptation of blood.
imagine never seeing a sunrise again. Imagine like wanting to kill something just by looking at it. Like,
Imagine
imagine.
everybody looking like fine cuts of meat to you. That
Yeah,
would be a
imagine
horrible
like when
life.
you're hungry in a cartoon and the person turns into ham, but they don't
And
turn
that's your
back,
life.
and they don't turn back, and you're just followed by all this floating ham, and
The fine cuts of meat that is the entire human
that's the
population.
entire human population. You've completely like dehumanized these people because they're your food, and you don't treat them with respect at all, and you'll never
But you
see a
also
fucking.
struggle with that.
You never see a fucking single sunrise ever again. Everyone who's ever loved you has died. You're cold.
Like there is a lot of horrible downsides to being a vampire, but that's just not addressed
But
here.
that's built in to the tragedy of it all, and it makes the characters sympathetic.
I don't buy that Edward is this tortured soul because he has no drawbacks at all.
He's loaded.
He's in control. He never has that. I
He's
know
in.
he's supposed to be like tempted by Bella, but I don't know. I never bought it.
Well, her blood's really yummy, or
And
something.
it's just yeah, it's just like it just does not fundamentally get the beauty and tragedy of the vampire at
You've
all.
defanged the vampire. Like, how do you do
Quite
that?
literally, in fact.
In fact, literally.
They don't have fangs in these
They
movies.
don't have fangs. They have venom sacs or some shit. Because
And they just bite with their teeth, and it's
bite
just
with their
like
teeth. And I feel
Man,
really bad for shitting on Stephanie Meyer's concept, but I do feel like it's written kind of like she doesn't want to write vampires.
she doesn't. I don't get it. I don't know what she was going for, but it wasn't vampires.
Like, I think she just wanted a story about a hot guy and magic.
She really just wanted a story about a hot guy, and he sparkled because it was based on a dream where she saw this sparkly man in a field. I don't know why she went to vampires then.
You know what'd be cooler than making a sparkly vampire? Explain a different reason why he's sparkly and then make him that.
How about the Fae?
Make him a fae, or make him like a fucking, or make him a ghoul, or make him anything. Make him
Not
a
a vampire.
ghost, an alien.
Uh,
It's just, it doesn't fit what a vampire is, or the things that a vampire story has to its advantage.
Yeah, it's stripping away all the interesting elements that make these sort of vampire romances work. And then when you do that, all you're left with is just
They're
it's
just
just
hot
boring.
wizard. They're just hot undead wizards.
It's just hot undead wizards that's boring. And then you also have to really start thinking about it's like, wait, he is like several decades older than her. This is weird.
Yeah,
And like, I'm
and
willing to put that aside with Stefan, but that's only because everything else is interesting enough where it doesn't like completely like.
also he actually really likes Elena, and
And also, yeah,
it's not just like he vaguely likes the concept of her and she likes the concept of him, but it's mostly
yeah, there's
and it's like a drug and they're addicted to it. No, it's like they kind of genuinely care for each other.
they talk, yeah.
They talk, they have lives, they enjoy each other's company. They don't just fuck a lot, and that's like that's how you establish that this is a relationship.
Yeah.
Because all they do is fuck. That's like the only.
All we do is like just kind of sit awkwardly in
They sit
meadows and fuck.
awkwardly in meadows, and then they fuck, and that's all they do.
And that's it.
I'm beating around the bush here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're finally. I feel like we have finally reached a point where it's just like I think we are exhausted of talking about Twilight.
And I wish I could have the energy to be mad at it, but I'm just frustrated and kind of disappointed. And I feel like
It's just because
that's worse than just vitriol, you know?
it's
Because at least
it
if you're
doesn't.
angry, you're fired up about something. You're
You're
passionate.
fired up about something. You're passionate, but here it's just like, man,
I'm
I
just
just
like
want to go back to Stefan.
I'm just like,
He's good.
fuck it, I don't
He's
care.
he's become the Ripper. That's just so much more interesting. But it's just like, no, I'm just here with this glittery fuck.
I'm just this glittery fuck, and just a waste of Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. Just it's a waste. This
Waste
whole
of
movie's
everywhere. Rami Malek's in this.
Rami Malek's in this. Just cause.
Just cause
Michael Sheen's in it. Who cares? At least he's having fun.
he's
I
at
don't
least
know.
having fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll be
All right.
back.
Yep.
Hopefully
You know,
on the same day, but job. It
yeah,
happens.
we'll be kind of figuring out what we're doing with the scheduling and all that.
It'll still be once a week. We'll just figure out a good day.
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll do.
And you can find us on here on YouTube and on Spotify, anywhere
Subscribe,
else you
please.
can get a
I would really
podcast.
appreciate it.
What was that?
Subscribe, please.
Yeah, subscribe. The YouTube is
if you-
THI Ash
Yeah, if
or
you
at
talk,
These Hot Idiots.
if you talk or like the video, it'll recommend this video to more people, and that kind of helps like get the ball rolling.
Yeah, the algorithm and all that.
Yeah, we're trying to please some ancient AI god or whatever. So
hit that like button, leave a comment, smash the subscribe, and
throw your computer out a window.
and also you can find us on Tumblr at MegaFighter343 and Ash Nightshade.
We're drama posting there at the moment.
We're not drama. I don't post anything on my. I don't drama post on it. I just fucking. Actually, what is my last post recently? I feel like I know I need to plug some of the more recent episodes. I'm just trying to remember what my last post on there was. Okay. I've just been reblogging a bunch of shit.
I just wish that like the curve of this review series that we had wasn't just like a bump and then a flat line.
I know. Yeah, we do get a good bump whenever we talk about Twilight. That's the only advantage that these movies have had.
No, I'm not talking about the algorithm. I'm talking about like vibes, movie
and
vibes.
also vibes. Yeah.
But hey, there's better fucking romance movies. Just go watch
There's
it.
better fucking vampire stories. We're gonna be going into season 3 next.
Yeah.
Stefan's become a Ripper again, and I'm
Stefan's
honestly very excited.
And I want to see what that means.
Yeah, well, I'm excited now for that.
Fuck. How do we end these?
I don't know, man.